Welcome back to another video, and today I'm gonna be like readjusting my tier list that I made like couple weeks ago, because that tier list wasn't too good, and I agree. It had a lot of flaws, but here I am now. I put a lot more thinking into this and effort, so even if it is like not good and trash, just tell me in the comments what to do, because I haven't used all the fruits. I only used Kilo, Gomu, and Suna, so don't really tell for those three fruits. But based on what I've seen and all like the other tier list videos I've seen, I could kind of make an overall tier list. So let's first start off with the E section, the worst devil fruits in the game. So the two worst devil fruits in this game is Suke and Kilo. So the reason why Suke is the worst, well, one of the worst devil fruits is because it does not have that many damaging moves. You have area invisibility, and the rock throw. Now I think Suke is better than Kilo because with the invisibility, other players can't see you, although you still have footsteps. So for Kilo, the reason why it is worse than Suke is because you have three moves: the Kilo Rise, Descend, and you have the Kilo Smash. So the Smash, it does block break, which is kind of good, and it does come out pretty fast. But other than that, like for it to actually do good damage, you need to put like, let's say 450 points to the devil fruit. And I mean, like if you're that high level, you should just do dungeons and get a better fruit. So for the D section, I'm putting in spin only, because, okay, hear me out. Spin, sure, it's a common fruit, but it is probably the best common fruit because you could actually do pretty crazy combos with it. You could up tilt into the spin, and it actually has a good ultimate that actually do damage if you put like 300 points. It's not that low. I have like 400 points of Suna, so. And it also has a flight move, which is also pretty good. It's like Suna, but except I don't think you can do moves with the flying move, but yeah. Spin, it isn't that bad, but you need a lot of points to it for actually to be viable in PvP. So now for C, I'm gonna put Bari and Marrow. So in my opinion, Bari is better than Marrow because hear me out, Bari is good for farming, right? And also in PvP, when you do the cage, you have pretty much full combo potential because they can't move anywhere. And for Marrow, for grinding is not really that good because all moves cost a lot of stamina and pretty much all moves can be blocked. Yeah, ultimate. And for PvP, really the only good move is Love Charm because it comes out really fast. Even then, you can't really combo off of it if they're too far away. For Bari though, it is, I would put it into a B, but the one reason I'm not is because in dungeons, they nerfed the farming method with Bari, where you could just like shield your teammates. So since they nerfed that, it's useless in dungeons. Okay, moving on to the B section. So we're getting a bit better fruits, the fruits that I recommend you to get. So for the first one, we have Gura. Now I would put Gura higher. It's just that it's not a Logia, and I don't want too many stuff to be an A. But Gura here is probably the best fruit in this B section. So the reason why I'm putting Gura in the B section, it's because her grinding is not really that good, like as in level grinding. For dungeons, probably one of the best for sure, because you could do the head crusher and the Sequake combo on bosses, so pretty much insta kill them. And also for PvP, it's pretty good because the shock punch can block break, and that's like the first move. And you can also do the head crusher combo with the Sequake. So yeah, it is really good, and I'm actually trying to get it right now, but dungeons are always giving me super Kilo and spin. So, anyways, so now we have Bamu, the second best in the B section. So Bamu, believe it or not, is actually probably one of the best rare fruits. Probably the best. Actually, no, not the best rare fruit, but it is probably one of the best because with Bamu, it is probably the best for grinding, the best like level farming. In dungeons, it's pretty good, because you could one-shot the bosses with self-destruct, and then you can also use the explosion, the range explosion to like group them up. And for PvP is kind of underrated because you could do the grab to the and like grab them to the mines. That would do a lot of damage. You have a lot in it, but that's pretty much all the moves. Because self-destruct, if they have GPO or instant dash, they could just dash away. Now the third best here is Zushi because with Zushi, for grinding, it's probably not that good. I haven't used it in grinding, but really, probably the best way for grinding with Zushi is the meteor one. But yeah, for dungeons, I've never seen anyone using Zushi in dungeons. That means probably garbage. But for PvP, it also isn't too good because you can block all the moves. But if you don't block the moves, then you get severely punished for doing so. Because if they do the pull, that's literally an auto combo. In Gravity Dominance, they get combo off that as well. So, but the ultimate is actually a pretty good one, unless you have a GPO. So, yeah. Now the fourth best here is Gomu, because Gomu for grinding, I'd say it's pretty good. Because it has a transporting move, like not transporting move, but like a movement move, a mobility. And you also have a move that reduces damage. And for dungeons, it used to be to solo it. You can still probably solo it. You just need to have a lot of like 800 into level fruit. So yeah, because you could just do the barrage and end the bosses, and then you could just camp in this guy and keep on spamming pistol. For PvP, the one good move is bazooka. But if you somehow manage to hit Gatling, your opponent's probably dead. If not dead, then in the bleeding state where they just go super slow. Yeah. Now we are reaching the best fruits. We're reaching the good fruits that you should probably try to get. So for this one, Pika, I put that as the best one because Pika, you have the Pika flight, so it's good for grinding because you get everywhere, you go to all places, and you can just spam mirror kick and light lunge. For dungeons, I won't say it's that OP, but you can just use Ray Light. So, but you don't have much moves that can keep you in the sky. So you're gonna have to have like a Ricochet to like hold Rankaku. But if you do manage to get the light ray off and get everyone, then they're all dead because their block can't handle it. But for the bosses, actually it's pretty good because you could just use the jewels of light. For PvP, I'd say it's pretty good because the light kick does not have that much of a cooldown, and light lunge does block break, and it's pretty hard to PB. At least for me, that is. So then, yeah, you also use mirror kick. Mirror kick is pretty. It has like, how much range does it have? I don't know how much, but it has lots of range. That's what I do know. So then, for the second best one is Tori. So Tori for grinding, I wouldn't say it's the best because a lot of moves you need lots of stamina, and you don't have that much. You don't even have a good build when you're grinding. Supposedly, you got Tori like when you're level 0. For PvP, Tori, it's pretty good. I hope to use it someday because when you're low, you can just camp the skies and heal. Although you will have no stamina, you can just use talent and keep on M1ing and burn damage, so that's pretty good. And even let's say like you have 1,000 HP with Tori, you probably don't even need to do flame rejuvenation. But for dungeons, I wouldn't say it's that good. Because if you're trying to go to like half form and fly or for the full form, then it's gonna cost lots of stamina. You can't stay up there forever. Although you have flame rejuvenation, so that will be pretty good. But yeah, moving on to the next fruit, it's High. So I would put Suna in front of High, but High does have the water walk, so for grinding is pretty good. It's really good. Then you have the water walk. Although in dungeons, I wouldn't say it's the best. I wouldn't say it's that good. I wouldn't say. Because really the good moves are Ice Stomp and the Ice Sage, but you can't really spam Ice Sage in dungeons, can you? But for the bosses, you can infinite stun them, so That's pretty good. For PvP, I'd say it's probably one of the best because you got the swords and they get block breaking. They have a really big range. Yeah. So I would put Suna higher than this than high, but Suna, the one problem with it is that it doesn't have much block break moves because the two block break moves are Spada, which they can easily just dash out of. It has like a 3-second charger, but even if they do get hit by it, you're probably too far away. So when they get back up, they're already blocking. For the Desert Cutlass, though, for the Desert Cutlass Frenzy, it is a pretty good, a pretty reliable block breaker move because even if they PP it, they still get punished because they get hit by it. This is a grab move, and it does come out pretty fast. But yeah, you can still avoid it though because the range, like you charge and the range isn't that good. But it does do lots of damage as well. For dungeons, probably one of the best because you just use the fly and camp the sky and use Desert Storm. As long as you have good stamina, you're good. So, for moving along to Goro. Goro, I don't think is that good for grinding because you don't have that many moves that are like good for grinding. The one thing I forgot what it's called. I think it's Thunder Wrath, where like the bunch of lightning goes down. That's really annoying. So for dungeons, same as the grinding, not really that good, except for bosses you can just use Thunder Greed and then you'll always hit them because they don't really like to go far away from the center. For PvP, probably honestly like Tori. It's really good because you can use the dragon and like it stuns them and you can just get another combo and yeah. I once got an infinite combo by a Goro user, but you have to have lots of skill to actually like use Goro well. But if you do that, you're pretty overpowered. So the last one here is Horo. So now, Horo, what do you think? What you might be thinking? Why is a rare fruit in like the best fruits? Well, okay. So for grinding, I would say it's pretty good because you could use a soul unbound. Even if you do run out of stamina, you can use other moves. Like supposing you have another fighting style, which probably people will do, or you could just use the range moves. For dungeons, the best, the best. Because first of all, you use Soul Unbound. You have to have 1,000 stamina or more. So with Soul Unbound, you could they can't hit you. They will lock onto your soul, like when you're controlling, not the one all the way back there, like your body. And then, yeah, they will attack it, but it's a soul. They can't hit it. So you can just use like B-leg and use hard table kick course. So that's really OP. Basically, just them getting damaged by nothing. You just lay it back. For PvP, it has a really OP combo extender. I forgot what it's called, but it makes him like go in a negative tone. And yeah, it is really good because then you can get like rapid slashes off with the Gomami Barrage. So that is really good. Here we are, guys. The best fruits in the game, in my opinion. Now, this was a really a hard choice to make because Pika and Tori are also really good, but I feel like Magu is the best fruit. Okay, hear me out. Grinding, you have Water Walk, so you don't need to worry about water. You have the swamp; it doesn't take that much stamina, and you can just abuse it and like kill them easily. Even if you don't have enough stamina, you can use the eruption, which is really OP because it block breaks instantly, and it does like tons of damage upon also fire damage. For PvP, it is probably the best because you could do M1 up tilt, then you could like do like Crepus lunge, and you could do eruption, and then that's like a lot of their HP going. And they use Magma Fist and Magma Hound. And for dungeons, really good because pretty much all of his moves are AoE, which is really good. In dungeons, you want AoE moves, high damage and AoE moves. And Magu's moves, the Hound and Fist, have like 10-second cooldown, so you won't even need to worry about it. I haven't seen like a point where all Magu's moves are on cooldown unless they're spamming. If they're spamming, of course they're going to be on cooldown, but Magu's move have really low cooldown. That's why it makes it so OP. And minus that is fire damage, so yeah, that's brutal. So now, Mara, the tough choice to make was I was gonna put Mara into the best fruit, but um but for grinding I wouldn't say it's that good because all the moves, not all the moves, but a lot of the moves you can block, and yeah, but you do have a flight, so in grinding it could be pretty good, but remember for flight you need a lot of stamina. And we're gonna get all the stamina if you're starting from 0 all the way to 425. You get me? But in dungeons, talking about flight, it is really good in dungeons. Better than, no, I wouldn't say better than the Suna, because how you're gonna kill them? Yeah, with the fist, I guess. But there's so many, in my opinion, is better than fist. So, but yeah, as I was saying, it is really good. Now, the reason why I'm not putting Suna instead, like up here instead of Mara, is because for PvP, Flame Pillar is super OP, like massively OP. Like it has hyper armor. Even if you PvE it, you still get punished. You can't block it. It automatically block breaks you. And it has 7 ticks and burn damage. And the player's invincible unless you do a ranged move. So with that in mind, once you do Flame Pillar, you're practically invincible. And it has a real cool startup. It's like a 1-second startup, and then boom. And then the ultimate for it is not really that good because it has a long charge up. But anyways, for PvP really good, dungeons really good, and farming meh. So that was my tier list, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You could, if you disagree with my tier list, tell in the comments what you think I should like put higher or lower. And see ya.